Hello friends! In recent years, the number of invasive baboons in Iowa has increased significantly. From 2021 to 2023, the number of baboons in the city increased from 1 million to 3 million, indicating the rapid spread of the species. To deal with this encroachment, what measures are local authorities taking? Leave number 1 in the comments and start the video now. First, invasive baboons in Iowa typically originate from Africa and Asia. Initially, they lived naturally in wild areas such as forests, grasslands, and savannas. However, due to population growth, habitat loss, and lack of food sources, they are forced to move to other areas in search of survival. Drought is one of the main reasons why they have to leave their original habitat. This situation directly affects their food and water sources, forcing them to cross major highways to enter residential areas. Often traveling in groups of 5 to 20 baboons create concern for the community. Can you differentiate between baboons and macaques? Please share your experiences in the comments section below. When baboons are introduced to urban areas, baboons often become more aggressive than in the wild. Starvation due to lack of food in the forest makes them more reckless and aggressive in finding new sources of supply. Looking at their skinny photos, you can see they have been starved for days. The first area to note the presence of invasive baboons in Iowa was the city of Davenport in 2018. They then quickly spread to neighboring areas, including the capital Des Moines. They often directly attack people's living areas by climbing on the roof, going through windows, and even breaking doors to enter the house. Estimates of property damage in Iowa cities run into the millions of dollars each year. The baboon invasion situation in Iowa is causing serious negative impacts on transportation and public safety. Baboons often appear on the roads, causing traffic jams and possibly leading to accidents. In 2022, in Iowa, a baboon invasion caused more than 20 hours of traffic jams on Interstate 80, one of the state's major highways. This also has a significant impact on production, business activities, and people's lives, with more than 50 car accidents and at least 15 cases of patients injured in car crashes involving monkeys. Doghead. Traffic accidents caused by baboons are becoming increasingly serious. A horrifying story from a woman in Iowa is proof of this. Why do baboons invade cars? According to information from the newspaper, baboons are curious animals and can be attracted to new objects such as cars. One morning in July 2023, Sarah Jones, a resident of Des Moines, Iowa, had a terrifying experience while driving to work. Suddenly, she heard a loud noise coming from the front of the car. When she looked closer, she discovered a panicked baboon jumping into the front of her car and huddled in the engine compartment. Terrified, Sarah quickly steered the car aside on the road and turned off the engine, worry for both her and the baboon's safety. She decided to call wildlife control. After about 30 minutes, the agency's staff arrived to handle the situation. After the incident, staff successfully rescued the baboon. Maybe the monkey was attracted by the smell of food in the car and tried to get in to eat. Luckily, Sarah handled the situation calmly and no accident happened. Do you think Sarah's solution is safe and effective? If you agree, please comment number 2 below the comment section. The most effective way to control baboon invasions in Iowa is through humane measures and sterilization. Efforts by animal protection organizations and local authorities have resulted in the successful sterilization of more than 5,000 baboons by 2022. As a result, Iowa's invasive baboon population decreased by 20% in 1 year, while property damage in the city also decreased by 15%. The baboon sterilization procedure is performed by qualified veterinarians and adheres to humane principles. They are taken to a light anesthetic area and have their fur cleaned in preparation for minor surgery. Surgical sterilization is performed by removing the ovaries or testicles, after which the incision is carefully sutured and sterilized with povidone. After completing the surgery, the baboon will be taken to the recovery room for the doctor to check his health. If no problems arise, they will be returned to the reserve. Before performing the process of sterilizing medical instruments, it is also extremely important. The sterilization process is an indispensable step in baboon sterilization surgery to ensure the safety and effectiveness of the procedure. First, the tools will be washed with soapy water to remove dirt and adhere to organic substances. They will then be soaked in a disinfectant, such as chlorhexidine gluconate or hexanios, to kill bacteria and viruses. The tools will then be sterilized using methods such as autoclaving at 250 degrees Fahrenheit. Then, irradiating the tools with ultraviolet light to kill microorganisms and spores, ensuring safety and preventing infection, cross-contamination. Each baboon will be given its own medical kit, helping to limit the risk of transmitting infectious diseases such as HIV, hepatitis B and C from one baboon to another. Especially when the number of baboons in the Iowa area has reached 3 million. Local authorities had to use strong measures to deal with baboons by using bows and arrows to hunt them down. The advanced bow sighting device, Garmin Zero Bow, has been integrated with many features to effectively support hunting, especially baboon hunting. The Garmin Zero Bow tool can accurately measure the distance from your position to the target, helping you adjust the appropriate aiming angle to get an accurate first shot. When it comes to using bows and arrows for hunting, legal regulations and safety are very important. You need to ensure that you have a valid, licensed hunting operation and comply with safety regulations. The use of bows and arrows has proven to be very effective in dealing with aggressive invasive species such as baboons, thanks to the contributions of experienced hunters. A study in Illinois showed that the use of bows and arrows reduced the number of baboons in the study area by 50%, thanks to strict management by local authorities. This has helped reduce the level of damage to property and community morale. Hello friends! Did you know that Australia is facing one of the highest mammal extinction rates in the world? More than 70% of Australia's native animals cannot be found anywhere else on Earth. Therefore, every loss for Australia is also a loss for the world. One of the biggest threats to Australia's native species is the introduction of feral cats. Since just 13 wild rabbits were brought to Australia from England in 1859 by a wealthy man named Thomas Austin. Their overpopulation has caused many negative problems for nature and agriculture. Governments and farmers in Australia have used a variety of measures for more than 100 years to control wild rabbits, from fencing to extermination. Burroughs has implemented biological control measures, even injecting viruses into rabbits and releasing them back into the wild. However, with favorable living conditions and rapid reproduction, the number of wild rabbits in Australia continues to increase rapidly. Although at one time up to 98% of the total number of wild rabbits increased rapidly, female wild rabbits, once exterminated, usually begin reproducing as soon as they reach 5 to 6 months of age. Currently, female wild rabbits in Australia usually give birth to 4 litters. Each litter has about 7 to 10 babies. They hide mainly in squirrel burrows and are only allowed to leave when the mother rabbit feels safe. Baby rabbits will feed on their mother's milk for about 4 weeks before transitioning to solid food. According to research by the Invasive Species Solutions Center in Australia, most wild rabbits will separate from their mothers when they reach a certain stage. After about 4 to 5 weeks, these wild rabbits are weaned and begin a new independent life. They will burrow and live wherever there is a food source and less disturbance, such as a backyard garden or on a hillside. Basically, any place in Australia can become an ideal habitat for them. Currently, there are approximately 287 million wild rabbits in Australia, with about 177 million rabbits being born each year. These hundreds of millions of rabbits are distributed across 71% of the country's mainland, and they have the ability to burrow naturally. While young wild rabbits are often preferred prey for carnivores like feral cats or dingoes, the number of rabbits killed each year by predators is only a small fraction of the total rabbit population in the area. The animal is adaptable except in areas with a lot of clay and sand, such as in northeastern South Australia. Currently, New South Wales, Queensland and Victoria are the states with the largest wild rabbit populations in Australia, with New South Wales home to approximately 65 million wild rabbits. The negative impact of hundreds of millions of wild rabbits on Australia's ecosystem includes the decline of natural vegetation and grasslands, linked to overgrazing by wild rabbits. Just one wild rabbit can make the entire lawn of an international standard football field indestructible. An adult wild rabbit typically weighs about 3.3 pounds and needs to consume 7% of its body weight each day. The burrowing habits of hundreds of millions of wild rabbits in Australia not only cause serious erosion and destruction of the landscapes in which they live, but also create other negative impacts on the environment. Competition with native animals in the fight for food is also a major problem presented by wild rabbits, the impact of which poses a serious challenge to the ecosystem and native animals in Australia. Threatening some 322 plant species and posing a major challenge to ecology and agriculture. Australia's wild rabbit population is 11 times larger than the country's population and costs the government more than $215 million a year. Australia, with the problem of wild rabbits rampant, the Australian government allows anyone to hunt them in unlimited numbers and encourages people to organize hunts to reduce the number of this invasive species. In today's video, we will find out how Australian farmers are dealing with the problem of 6.3 million feral cats. If you are excited about this content, please leave your number 1 below in the comments section. Feral cats first appeared naturally in Australia in the 1850s. To date, The number of feral cats in Australia is estimated from 1.4 to 6.3 million. They have become an obsession for Australians, especially livestock farmers, because they are not only an invasive species but also prey on millions of native animals, creating ecological imbalance. Even though they belong to the same cat family, feral cats are not cute at all and are very aggressive. They have the ability to hunt patiently and adapt well to the environment, making it difficult for many native animals to survive with them. Watch the video to better understand how farmers are meeting this challenge and solving the feral cat problem in Australia. And feral cats not only cause a lot of damage, they are also linked to the extinction of 25 species of native small and medium-sized mammals, threatening the existence of more than 100 other native species in Australia. The annual predation impact of feral cats on native Australian wildlife is estimated to be huge, with 272 million birds, 470 million reptiles, and millions of other mammals killed, along with unknown losses to invertebrates and amphibians. These massacres frequently take place in the bush, but feral cats in town areas also cause significant losses. They are capable of injuring people and are often difficult to distinguish from domestic cats due to their agile bodies, sharp senses, and good hunting ability. Feral cats are suited to living alone and are often active at dawn and dusk. They are often located in sheltered places such as rabbit holes or bushes. Feral cat populations are self-sustaining and breed successfully, with females able to give birth to 2 litters per year. Young feral cats live with their mothers until about 7 months old, after which they disperse and live alone. This female gave birth to dozens of other litters of feral cats, contributing to the sudden increase in the number of feral cats. This situation is creating food shortages and threatening biodiversity in Australia. Let's take a look at the challenges that feral cats bring. In the wild, they tend to increase their hunting and attacking behavior to ensure survival. Like a leopard cutting through the desert, the light footsteps and sharp eyes of wild cats are directed at prey. These unfortunate ducks will become a meal for feral cats. Especially when they are hungry. Although birds are often the favorite targets of feral cats when they are hungry, the animal's resistance is often ineffective, and they fight desperately until the feral cats tear them apart. Wild cats are such strong people. They are small in size, but have enough attack power and ferocity to terrify their opponents. Feral cats not only attack wild animals, but also attack pets when given the opportunity. Naturally, your pet is no match for a wild hunter. If not stopped in time, things will get worse. The result will probably be similar to the confrontation with the duck or wild cat just now. Feral cats also pose a threat to human health because they can carry infectious diseases such as rabies and respiratory infections. Recognizing these risks, the Australian Feral Cat Reduction Action Plan has implemented direct measures such as trapping and baiting, supported by cameras to increase implementation effectiveness. However, developing awareness in the community about the risks and consequences of feral cat attacks is also considered one of the most effective measures to tackle the problem. Ensuring people have a better understanding of the greater consequences of the presence of feral cats in their surroundings. A large method of controlling wildlife cuts is the use of poisonous baits. However, this method is only implemented in Western Australia. Many native animal species in the area have developed resistance to this poison in some parts of Australia. Although poisonous baits can pose great danger to wildlife, don't let their appearance fool you. Each of these cute stray cats can kill up to 1,000 native animals each year. This situation is getting worse, and increased pressure from feral cats could quickly lead to other animals being pushed out of the ecosystem. Australia's National Science Agency SASO has reported that each year, feral cats kill an average of 1.8 billion animals in Australia, equivalent to about 2,000 native animals every minute. Aware of this situation, the Australian government has allowed citizens to participate in wildcat hunting activities. But this can only be done with a hunting license and in strict compliance with government regulations. The goal is to reduce the number of feral cats in the area, maintain the ecosystem, and ensure safe and effective hunting. In 2023, approximately 21,000 cats were euthanized in an effort to reduce the feral cat population. Night hunting is practiced, with many feral cats hunting possums in the mountains and others hunting at night in remote and arid regions of Australia. The hunting instinct of wild cats makes them work effectively at night, but they are unaware that there are eyes watching them and guns aimed at them to optimize the effectiveness of hunting wild cats. Many people also participate in night hunting. It is a law of nature. To catch a predator, you must appear when they are hunting. During the hunt, farmers can use means such as guns to end the threat of feral cats. However, the encroachment of entire feral cat populations continues. Their claws have penetrated deep into Australia's ecosystem, especially in autumn when food is scarce. Feral cats will hunt small animals to secure a meal, and they even move close to residential areas in search of food. Controlling feral cats becomes a challenge in locating them. Hunting feral cats requires a lot of effort. Hunters often use specialized lighting systems combined with infrared lights, helping them clearly see the target and location of wild cats during night hunts. However, things are not so simple, because these cats are very clever and sensitive. They have the ability to sense their surroundings quickly, along with good night vision. Once they have identified the target, they quickly rush in to catch their prey. Therefore, hunters need to be extremely cautious, because wild cats can run away or even attack if detected. A night hunting group usually needs at least 2 people to support each other, and everyone must hide quietly, observe and wait to spot the target. They move their hunting gear towards their intended target and carry it back to their body. This is not only an arduous hunt, but also brings exciting experiences. With the feeling of not knowing when wildcats will appear, the excitement from discovering and defeating them is something that will definitely make you happy. This joy comes not from killing, but from the clear awareness that each shot can help stem the encroachment of feral cat populations. At least, discourage them. In addition to hunting feral cats, trapping feral cats is also allowed in all parts of Australia, with the goal of reducing the number of aggressive predators. Although feral cats have only been present in Australia for about 200 years, they have left a destructive mark on the Australian landscape in recent times. Australian farmers have strong plans to limit the invasion of wild cats, proving their determination in the fight against these cute-looking killers.